HD2 Bethesda.
Welcome to the Carmiece Radio Show. I'm about to go on the air. Here we go.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management. Good morning and welcome to the Carmiece Show. Get ready to get great information.
Here we go.
On estate planning, bankruptcy, divorce, alimony, and much more. Now, for today's show, here's attorney Carmiece Graves.
Good morning and welcome to the Carmiece Graves Radio Show. And I am attorney CPA Carmiece T. Graves. I'm in the building. I got the mic. Here we go. We're ready for spring. It's March. March Madness. I haven't been watching, but I know it's going on. I know it's going down. I know they're scrapping, going hard in the paint, going for what they know. And that really brings me around to something I want to talk about in terms of managing litigations, minimizing conflict, and saving money. We're always here. My practice is focused on estate planning, bankruptcy, and family law. So whenever there's something that I can share with listeners that will help us grow and be more informed as a community, and that we can learn and share from each other's mistakes, making us wise, learning from others' mistakes is wisdom. So today, what's on my heart? What's on my mind? You know, I think it's really dealing with the emotional aspects of litigation, okay? That's just what it is. That's what's going on with me today. I got to talk off. Because when I'm dealing with particularly family law matters, you know what I mean? The mind space of individuals really is so important to success in the case. I was talking to a client on the way over here, and I was giving my assessment as to one or two ways that this could go. We could either do this the hard way or we're going to do this the easy way. Now, what determines whether it's the easy way or the hard way? Well, whether it's amicable, whether people are going to get along, whether people have a process to bringing closure and completeness and acceptance to the situation and are really trying to move forward, as opposed to just, you know, it is what it is. You don't judge people, because family law matters in particular really, you know, pull at the heartstrings, and people act irrational. So we're in a rational process, but the response to it could be irrational. And that, not having that in check, really is something that can drive up costs, because you're not able to just make a decision. You're not going to really like all of the decisions, but you got to make one to move forward. You know that it's going to be okay. Know that you're going to be able to make more money. Know that you're going to be able to replace the stuff. Know that it's going to be okay. And standing in the space and spinning wheels and being difficult just wastes time. I mean, it's the inevitable anyway. Why go through it and then rack up a lot of emotional harms to oneself and financial debts, and financial debts is emotional harm. It hurt my feelings when my money messed up or spent in a way that I don't like. So I want us to preserve wealth. I want all our money going into the wealth planning. I want us to all get into that side, okay? But a couple things. I'm going to speak on this. This is a big deal. You're talking about building wealth in the community. Talking about, I got to just give a shout out to Howard University School of Law. We are celebrating our 150th anniversary this year. Yes, my alma mater. I stick it in there someplace, somewhere. It seems like every show, but I owe so much to having such a wonderful experience. But you know what? I got to give it to me too. I got to give it to me, because I went to Howard to have a wonderful experience, and I got what I expected. And that's always the case. Managing expectations is really all of the game. Really, what you expect, you get. What you expect, you get. And people don't expect the same thing. You can imagine someone having privilege. That's what privilege is. With that, you come and have an expectation that it's going to work out for you. So does that suffice to say then that if you don't come from privilege, that you expect that things are not going to work out for you? I mean, that is a choice. Now, don't let anybody put you in that box, because you're going to experience what you expect. So even though you might have, had privilege, I can, I can bestow and restore privilege over here. You know what I mean? I'm going to get on that throne, okay? And expect my privilege. And it's working out. I'm liking it. So, anywho, I want us to preserve assets and wealth in the community. And one thing that's happening is that we are having appreciation. Because, we as a community have realized that our boycotts matter. Like when we stop spending money here and there, there's an impact. Our dollar is to be respected. And here, now I didn't get on the Gucci bandwagon, y'all. Just going to be honest here. I said I wasn't going to talk about that. But they, hey, do what you got to do. You guys watch the Super Bowl. I didn't do the NFL, but I'm going to do Gucci. We just got to pick and be real. Okay, they've been good to me. Okay, the ugly sweater, they shouldn't have did it. And I think it speaks more to maybe you didn't have a person of diversity at these decision-making tables, and they always said that diversity and inclusion is a matter of money. It's a business consideration for corporations, and they didn't understand, and it was hard to perceive why would diversity and inclusion be something that is a business matter. It's a business imperative. Gucci is the example that maybe, I don't know, I don't work over there, but maybe there wasn't a person, that was diverse and included to let them know, bad idea, okay? So anyway, so it's going to cost you some money. There you go. Fix it. Work it out. But one of the things that's going on in the community I'm going to speak on is we're being really selective, and it's a momentum, and I want to add to it of making sure where you spend your money, you're respected and appreciated. That is an imperative, okay? Because there's something going on in the community. Sometimes, the nail salon experience ain't too right. Okay, and now we are looking to spend money in the community and make sure that it's with people that are vested in the community, and make sure wherever you spend your money, you're appreciated and respected. Okay, so I've had to make some serious decisions about how I spend my money and where I get my nails done. It matters. So I need that in the community, because you're going to respect some coin that I don't work hard for. Okay, so moving on, other things that we want to, so emotional. Family law is emotional, and one of the things you're going to have to do to be successful in a family law case is to really take care of the emotions and have support for that when it comes to these divorces and custody battles and things like that. You're going to need to make sure, because if that part keeps spiraling, there's going to be, you're just going to be delusional, so you're not going to be able to make good decisions, and it's just going to, snowball in the wrong direction, stall, increase costs, and then you get mad at the attorneys. You be like, look, man, I want to look like a rock star. I want to go into the courthouse and be like, we got it settled, and that happens a lot of the time, more than not, but I want it on an uncontested, we settle eventually, I'm like, well, look, this is what it is, and, let's go ahead and get an agreement on the table if we know how this is going to shake in front of a judge, or if we're, confident that we'd like it to shake like this, and the judge might not see it that way. So you always want to settle so that you can maintain control, but you want to settle as early as possible in the process, and definitely high intensity battles where there's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, things like that. Definitely make sure that you get the emotional support you need. It would be cost beneficial to spend and healthy, spend some time with the therapist, versus running up a legal bill. So that's important. Custody with kids, it's always so difficult. It's so difficult because it's the relationship you don't get to walk away from, okay? It's the thing. Kids, let me just be honest with y'all about this, okay? So custody is the battle of co-parenting not working out. But really what it is, in addition thereto, is a continued relationship that people don't want to continue, because they have a child together. If they didn't have a kid, they would never speak to each other again in life, and they would keep it moving, right? But now they can't do that because they have this child. So this broken relationship is kind of stuck somewhere, and the fact that they don't get along and they can't stand each other, and it really creates a momentum of vitriol, high custody conflict, and oh my goodness, we have a little one in the crossfire. Okay, we have a little child in the crossfire, and sometimes I am just heartbroken to see the disregard, for the impact on this little person for the benefit of a fight, between the parents. So that was the most shocking thing I think I learned about family law. It broke my heart, just to see that people would not always just put the kid first. You just think automatically. But when a heart is broken, like I said, remember, family law, I said it gets irrational. That's the sort of the irrationality we talk about. You be like this, why would you do that? That doesn't benefit your kid. And sometimes it gets irrational because it's heartstrings. Therapy, support. Get support. Do not underestimate the need for wellness. Wellness is the key to getting through these sorts of cases. It's the way of saving money. It's the way, forward. You gotta, take care of yourself. Make sure that you are able to emotionally adjust to what's happening, what didn't happen, what regrets you might have, what mistakes, what, horrible thing happened, what trauma happened that caused the break. Make sure you're not stuck in that. And then you go into litigation. Oh my gosh, it'll bleed you. So I want us to be well. Wellness is what it's all about. Spring's in the air. I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's here. They're ready mulching. I haven't got my mulching done. Okay. What else do I want to share with my WOL family? You guys have been calling in. Thanks so much for reaching out. Oh, big victory. Oh, that's what I want to report. I'm glad I didn't forget. So, debt relief on the debt relief side. If you have a situation where you know that your money, all of a sudden you getting a garnishment that you don't know about, definitely make sure that you take immediate action. If you get notice of a garnishment, as soon as your employer informs you of notice of a garnishment, pick up the phone and call me right away, because you definitely want to make sure that that is addressed and taken care of before any garnishments start. Now, we had a great case. It was great. It was so easy. I just loved it. But a young man came in and there was some mix-up with his identity, and his money was being taken for somebody else's debts. And we were able to get that cleared up right away. It was really wonderful. Not saying they'll all be that easy, depending, but definitely no, don't sit on and allow a garnishment to move forward. Now, if you have garnishments, that's when we get into debt relief, Chapter 7, Chapter 13. So I want to talk a little bit about that and the realities of Chapter 13 and some of the things I want you to think about so that you may, if you need it, you'll understand the benefits that it confers, but you'll also understand the obligations that's expected of you under these plans, so that if you are right now in financial straits and bankruptcy may be something you're considering for debt relief because you need some relief, and if this is what you're thinking about, here are some of the things that I would be doing and I would be considering if things are kind of needing some time to get back on track and you're slipping, falling behind on payments. If that's happening, definitely we need to keep a tab on how far behind we are. But we're going to check in with traffic and weather, see what's going on around town, and we'll be back. Stay locked. Thanks so much for tuning into the Carmiece Radio Show. And I'll be right here, and hopefully... One minute. Now he's talking about one more minute. He said one more minute. Well, anyway, so we're going to be looking at, on the other side of traffic and weather, we're going to be talking about if you're falling behind on payments, some of the things you need to be thinking about, because I can tell you what a Chapter 13 will require of you. So if you know that, you can do some strategic planning. It's best to call me as soon as possible to get me involved so that we can plan together, so that you can maximize and maybe strategically avoid a bankruptcy if we could do some debt relief. But we're going to we're going to do it. Now we're going to do traffic and weather. I'll be right back, so stay tuned to the Carmiece Radio Show. I don't hear nothing. They ain't been playing traffic weather. Not playing music.
1450 AM WOL 95.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I mean, spring's in the air. This is what I'm just going to tell you guys again with this custody stuff, with family law stuff. People just don't know. You get so deep in it. It gets so toxic. It takes so much of your vitality away. It really robs your life condition. Just the conflict. You got to get that part. There's the law part to do, legal part. You do the assessment. You take the steps. Ask the court for relief. If you have a case, you got to have a case. You got to have the factors, So, I could go over that, I want to continue talking about when you're planning for debt relief. But, okay, so the fact is, you have to have, if you want to modify something, if you want to modify custody, you need to, at least in Maryland, show a material change. I'll get back to that later. Our secret. And I'm back. Welcome to the Carmiece Radio Show. It's fun. Lonzo's up there, my engineer, making sure that we're in and out of our transitions. Talking to Facebook family on the break. Again, we're just talking about the importance of taking care of yourself, because litigation, this stuff that we do, it's confrontational. So, I didn't introduce myself. This is the Carmiece Graves Radio Show. I'm attorney CPA Carmiece Graves, practicing family law, estate planning, and bankruptcy in Maryland and DC. And I'm so honored for you guys to be tuning in, my WOL family. We are learning some things together. Okay, we're growing, we're sharing. And today it's about the underlying emotional aspects of litigation. It's stressful, okay? It's just litigation, especially family law, it didn't work out, okay? If, we were not able, hopefully we were, I like it when we work out. Like my mom says, she says this funny thing. This statement just cracks me up. She says, well, we get along until we don't. I'm like, what is that? What is that? Okay, what does one do with that? Are you trying to work it out? Or are you just acknowledging that, so we here now, this is who I come from. We get along until we don't. Okay, so that's pretty much litigation. We got along and now we don't. And we're needing the third party court to come in. And those are the rules that I'm always talking about, the rules in the background. So emotional aspects of that. Let's keep that together. Now, but if you are falling behind on payments, I don't want to miss that point. So emotional stuff, it's important. The wellness, you got to do it. You got to do your Stella. Everybody got to get their groove back. Go, just Rocky, just get on it. Just be your best self. Be great. Just go to the gym, work out. I can't stress that enough because it matters, because it adds positive momentum to the case. We're able to, everybody's feeling good. We're wanting to come to some agreement. You need it. You need that energy. Energy matters. So, now, here are some flags that I want you to keep in mind. So, if you are falling behind on payments, and you have an asset like a house or a car, probably a house would probably be more compelling, that you want to keep, okay, and you really want to have, and maybe you can't get through with the modification. Pick up the phone call. Don't wait. You're no longer in the era in them days where you could sit down there and not pay mortgage for a couple of years and get a loan mod. They snatch his houses. Okay, they'll be dragging, especially in some of the counties that I practice in the area, they're being aggressive. They're letting folks sit on these mortgages and then, act like, and they sell them. They keep selling the loan, keep selling the mortgage. So you got to starting over with the new loan servicer. They don't want to do it, and maybe they sell it again. And all this time's passing, all these months now. Although nobody took action, the amount of money you have not paid still gets counted. Okay? So no matter if it's 8 different loan servicers intervening from the first person who had your mortgage, if you ain't paid since month 36, then that's their business, who owned the loan. Your business is, did you pay? Now, did you do your part or not? Be careful. Be careful with that, with the amount of payments accruing. and you not paying, okay? I would not gamble that you're going to get a loan mod. I hope you do, I would be gambling that if this don't work out, and if I want to keep my house, Chapter 13 may require me, and this is just general, to pay back what I have not paid over 60 months plus my regular bills. Do I have it? Okay? I would keep track of that number. Okay, I would be doing that math. Okay, I'm $5,000. Okay, we ain't paying 3 months. It's it's $1,000 each month times 3. Okay, that's 3,000 divided by 60. Okay, I can do that. I can afford that. Okay, all right. Because you're going to be able to call me, file, we'll be able to stop any foreclosure action. But once that number is what it is, that's the number we're going to be grappling with and coming up with a repayment plan if you want to keep this house. That's just the reality. So if something's happening, I think the best thing to do would be to pick up the phone. But I know, again, money is really emotional too. I mean, it's even more intense than family. Family's like, the situation, my, euphoria ain't work out the way I thought. I thought that was going to be really good. We were going to stay together. Okay, that didn't work out. It seems like an option that didn't work out. You know what I mean? But money feels like your survival. Like, that's the stuff you use to eat, sleep, drink. That's your currency for existence, really. So if anything, and then your structures like your house and your vehicle that you need, your real critical basics, if those things start to be challenged, it feels threatening at another level. You know what I mean? It gets real. So it can be paralyzing. It can be paralyzing. Fear is paralyzing. And that's the thing that I want you to remember me saying. Just pick up the phone and call me. Just get that part done. And, well, I'm going to need because you could call me one time and then I can't get you on the phone again. That's one good step. But again, there you see how the emotional aspects underlying money and relationship matters, family law matters, all the same, that I need you to have some level of emotional well-being so that you can take positive steps for your benefit, and I can help you and you can help me help you. And that's all. We want to work together and help each other. So the math, don't lose the math now. Today's really about that math. Do not, if you're falling behind on those payments, and it's about wellness and math, they both go hand in hand. But if you're falling behind in those payments and you're not making payments and you think you might have to pull this, Chapter 13 relief button, if you got to push the relief button, fine, no problem. But know what they're going to expect of you, so don't let it get out of hand. Don't let them, because you could just pull it like, oh man, I'm filing. So, and y'all sort out who owns it, but I want my arrears, I want to catch up. And you can pull the trigger and stop the game playing and let them sort out who owns the debt, but you can, make sure that your arrears stop. If they're not going to give you the loan mod, you can have a payment plan, you can get back on track with whomever and use Chapter 13 bankruptcy debt relief to make that happen. That's what it can do. It can kind of force the mod if they're not going to give it to you. But definitely don't spin in, a perpetual, mod seeking status without stacking the money. Okay, for the mortgage, stack the money for the mortgage and not letting the debt get out of hand such that if you have to go into Chapter 13 and you have to pay back that amount you didn't pay over 60 months, make sure it's a number that you can afford. Okay, because a lot of people, that's why you'll read, a lot of folks don't succeed in Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Well, sometimes it's because they let it get too far out of hand and they can't afford the payments, because it's pretty clear in Chapter 13 how this is going to go. It's crystal clear, actually, how it's going to go in terms of what is going to be expected of you. And there's, obviously there's always, special circumstances, individual and unique factors that make your case unique. But overall, you can at least count on that overarching, very general, can't rely on it for guidance kind of benchmark. You heard my disclaimer. I put it in. Don't call me. You want to rely? That's why we charge for consultation sometimes, because y'all can rely on it, This is what she told me in the consultation. Well, if I'm going to have some liability, I want to get paid for it. I really do. So, that being that, hopefully today was enlightening. It was refreshing for me. It's motivating. Let's stay on the right side of energy. Let's take care of ourselves so that we can exude the best energy that we can. All we can do is our best, right? All you can do is your best. Strive for your best, you know? Don't settle for mediocrity. Don't spew toxic energy. Really work, because it really underlines and undermines your ability to move forward. If you need to pick up the phone because there's something going on financially, or if you need to get through, custody or family law matter, or and of course an estate matter. I mean, that one right there, I just hope that you always get grief counseling. But for both, I think family law is it's like a death. Death is like change, something died, the marriage, not the people, but the marriage. So something significantly changed, and it does take some adjusting, and it's serious, it's deep, So with that, I'm off I was in court yesterday. Going to court is always interesting because this thing is so litigious. And I want us to work on, hopefully we can come up with amicable agreements. If you need a consultation to figure out what an amicable agreement may look like, and to make sure that there's the proper disclosures so you know what you're agreeing to. Also, do not, okay, let's talk about it. As the WOL family, Facebook family, we are growing together. And what have we learned? Do not draft our own legal documents. We have learned that together. This group, we're not going to do that. You're not going to draft your own legal documents. Say you do. Say it's really simple. Well, you're going to make sure that if it's for any significant amount of money, you're not going to draft your legal document. It has to be for amount of money that you're willing to lose and give away as a gift. Okay? I'm tired of seeing these really expensive, big transactions, and like you drafted it yourself. Like, wow. And now, okay, so we're not going to do that. We have learned that together, that if it's simple, make sure you get it reviewed. If it's a substantial amount of money involved, don't do it yourself unless you're willing to give that money away as a gift. Because sometimes if your agreement is not properly drafted, ambiguous, it might not be enforceable. You could have wrote it down, but maybe the way you wrote it didn't leave or left ambiguities and left loopholes, left loopholes for people to slip through. Dealing with that now. So we've learned that together as a family. So I know we won't do that. And then if you need a consultation, we've learned that doing a consultation on the front end really can save you a lot of heartache and frustration and legal costs on the back end. We've also learned, don't wait. Don't wait. So that's me. Okay, I'll be back next week. The Carmiece Graves Law Firm. Reach out to me if you have any questions. But I'll be tuned in next week, Tuesday at 10, to the Carmiece Graves Radio Show, sharing more about estate planning, bankruptcy, and family law. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week.
You've been listening to the Carmiece Graves Show with attorney Carmiece Graves. To reach Attorney Graves, please call 240-573-7153. That's 240-573-7153. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 10 a.m. right here on WOL 1450 AM. Where information is power.
Good morning. I'm Nick Bovey here.